Welcome back, one and all, here for the 15th F2 Hotlap in the F1 2020 F2 Hotlap Series, and we round the final corner and turn 23 of the Hanoi Street Circuit, and making our way down towards turn 1 to start the lap of the Vietnam Grand Prix, braking just around the 100-metre border. See on the right-hand side, they're getting the car slowed down as we start to turn in, drop the car down to first just for the apex. A bit of curb there, but you don't want to hit it too much, that's going to unsettle the car a bit too much. Get in the power now as quickly as you can. In this corner, really, really hard now. You've got to feather the throttle, put it on as much as you can and down in second gear, keeping it nice and tight and getting the best run, utilising that curb to get a good slingshot, a little tap on the wall, but manage to not invalidate the lap there. But it's very difficult. Got to make sure you can try and keep the car nice and tight towards that curbing. Now coming down to the next section, braking just before the 100-metre wall, getting the car slowed down. A really important point here. We're going to take pretty much all of that curb, a lot of the curb on the inside, down into first for the next part. And not as much curb on that time, but I think you probably could get away with a little bit more. It's another almost a roundabout sort of corner, and you've got to just try and sort of feather the throttle and try and get the best exit you possibly can. So you compromise on the entry, but gain on the exit massively. And now we're running down the 1.5 kilometre straight between turns 9 and 11. There's a slight kink down the straight. That is turn 10. We open DRS and we're running towards what surely is one of the heaviest braking points on the calendar, on the game. Coming towards the corner now, we see the line starting to approach. Braking again, just a little bit before the 100-metre board. Getting the car slowed down all the way down into first gear and nice and tight on the apex. And you're going to keep that lock on as you try and get the car rotated around that very, very difficult turn 11 hairpin and getting the power as quickly as we can. Currently 310s up at the moment. But now, this is part where we go from sort of a very conventional street circuit where it's sort of straights and tight corners, and now we've got a fast flowing section in between the walls, keeping it nice and tight as possible. And this corner, utilising that curb a little bit on the inside, nice and tight, drop it down into third for next bit. So we run a little bit wide, but that then allows us to sort of get onto the curb and we sort of regain a little bit of time there. Back up in the fourth, but straight back down into third. Now the run towards the final corner, up in the fourth for a brief moment and down into first gear, avoiding the curb on the inside. And now it's just the final corner to negotiate, up in the fourth for a brief moment, straight back down into third and onto the pit straight, opening DRS and run towards the line. It's 1 minute 47.419, and that's going to put us fifth in the PS4 world standings. But a very good lap, especially considering over 1,000 people have done it. But the setup, of course, 6.4 on the wings, need a good bit of grip at the front to avoid understeer. Transmission-wise, 20% off, 80% on. The suspension geometry, 4 to the right, 4 to the right, 4 to the left and 5 to the left. Suspension, all pretty much 4 and 5 throughout, very sort of low mid-range. Braking, 57% brake bias, and the tyres, 21.8 for the fronts and 20.7 for the rears. Thank you everyone for joining me for this F2 Hotlap around Vietnam, the Hanoi Street Circuit. And make sure to subscribe, like and comment for more F2 Hotlaps and F1 2020 content.
Last lap was a 1 minute 47.4.